In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use a very useful script in your Google Drive called formRanger. formRanger is a script that allows you to auto-populate a set of responses to choose from, whether it's through a list, multiple choice, or checkboxes. This is a finished product. I have a formRanger where I have all of my students' email addresses automatically populated for me to choose from, without having to go in and type them in individually. I have done the same for a list of assignments. This is the end product. Let me show you how to create a form with formRanger. In your drive, you'll need to create a form. Whenever you create your form, whether it's for data collection or an assignment or a test, have something in mind that you have a lot of choices for. This is where formRanger becomes very helpful. So what I've done is I'm going to create a form and I'm going to type in my question. So let's say you have a question that has lots of possible choices. So my question, which of the following is the capital of Missouri? I can have the students type it in themselves, but if I wanted the students to choose from a list, I would choose that option. This is where formRanger is useful. I do not put an option into option 1, I leave it blank, and I would continue with the rest of my questions. Here is a completed example that I have made. Using cell vocabulary, the students had 15 vocab words. So what I did was created a form where I typed all 15 of the questions or the definitions to the term. What I did was I left the term actually blank, and the students will choose from a list. They will do this using formRanger. If you viewed the form as it is right now, when the student goes here and they go to their questions, there's actually no choices. We're going to fix that, where they have a list of 15 vocab words to choose from. Once I have all my questions created for my form, I want to go to the response page. On the response page, I will see all of my questions. Again, here is the example I made for my cell quiz for the vocabulary. All of the definitions are listed above. All that's lacking is the terms. What I do on my form, on the response page, is I want to insert a script. The script is called formRanger. Just simply search for the script. There you will see formRanger. Choose Install. It will need your authorization. Choose Continue and then Accept. formRanger will be installed. You can close it. At the top you will now see the formRanger option. Choose Run Initial Configuration. It tells you the script is finished running, and now you can go in and set up your formRanger. In order for formRanger to work, you have to have a list of choices for it to pick from. On your sheet of responses, you want to insert a new sheet. You will now see at the bottom, here are my responses, here's my new sheet. On your new sheet, you can create your options for formRanger to autofill from. So I asked what the capital of Missouri was. I'm going to give a whole bunch of choices. Because you can populate more than one set of data from your spreadsheet, it's important that the very first row of the column gives a heading. Notice I've used the heading capitals here, so that formRanger knows these are my options for capitals. If I wanted to make a separate option, maybe states, I would need to head that column states, and I can start making an option of states. This is very useful if you're going to have more than one type of question in your form that lets students pick from a list. So now that I've titled my column capitals and given all the options that I want my students to be able to choose from, I can go to formRanger and I can assign items to column, from items to the columns. You'll see the very first question on my form, which of the following is the capital of Missouri? I want it to populate from the column. It asks what sheet it's from. It's from sheet 2. You can see that at the bottom, sheet 2, not the response page, but sheet 2. And it says what column are your options in? Is it in the capitals column or the states column? It's in the capitals column. And I save my settings. Now when students go to the live form and they see their question, which of the following is the capital of Missouri, it has the list for them to choose from. I could repeat this list on as many questions as needed. Some other options available with formRanger is to refresh the form. So if you change your list, just choose refresh form and your form will be updated. So if I wanted to add some other options for state capitals, some of them obviously correct, some not correct. But if I wanted to give more options, I can just tell it to refresh the form, and automatically, if my students were on the live form, their list now includes the new cities. No need to retype anything else, just add to your list and choose refresh. The other option is to set triggers for refresh. Under this option, you can tell the form how often you would like it to update itself, so you don't have to manually do it. These are some other options available to you. Going back to my vocab page, I'm now going to assign all items to the list. I'm using the exact same list, the vocab words, for every single question. I had 15 total questions. So all I have to do is go through on my questions, starting right here, and tell it to populate from the choices sheet, and that I want to use the vocab words. It's the only option available. It was the title of the first cell. And I will do this for every single question. After I finish setting up all my questions, filling from the choices option, I choose Save Settings. And again, I can change the refresh or set triggers to refresh depending on how I'd like to do that. But when a student goes to take their vocab quiz, they will now have the same options on every single question. It auto-populates the whole form. Again, there's various ways to use this, different forms, so, state capitals, state names, any list that you can think of, including the example I showed where I was using it as a form to grade students' homework, which had their email address in it. This is how you use formRanger. If you have any other questions, please be sure and ask.